Welcome to Reality After Show, the Challenge Ride or Dies, episode 10 After Show. That's Dan Montchal. I'm Jonny Fairplay. We're talking episode 10 of the challenge. Now, I wasn't able to join you guys for episode 9, and I was a little anticlimactic, but boom, we're back in the game right now. I'm excited. Episode 10 is called Dancing on My Own. And, Mariah knows how to pick outfits for confessionals, but maybe not a team.
Yeah, Alex and I talked about it a bunch last week that the team wasn't great. I was also, going back and looking at it, I was confused because at the beginning it was, all right, Fessy had to pick a female, Mariah had to pick a male, and I assumed they were going to have to go back and forth, but then it just went that why was Fessy allowed to go Bananas Nelson back to back?
It should have been, he got it with it should have been a snake draft, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
So they just did back and forth, and if it had been a snake draft, it would have been fair. It was, so if Fessy got the first pick, he could have deferred the first pick and then got second and third, but it wasn't fair. Like it should have been, whoever got the first pick, the other person got the second and third picks.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that because
that's how you do a draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially
because he could have deferred.
Yeah, because I still think he probably would have gotten Casey.
Yep. Yeah. So that was BS. So that was a flaw in production, not necessary, because Mariah was doing the second pick. Mariah was correct in choosing Jordan, but she should have also had the third to follow it.
Yeah, Alex and I talked about it last week that the first picks had to go, the first two had to go the way that they did, not just because of how good competitors Casey and Jordan are, but because of who their partners were.
Yep. So yeah, that wasn't fair. That as I said, that was a production snafu that should have known that that's how you do drafts in a one-on-one draft situation.
Yeah, completely agree.
I don't think they'll make that mistake again, but
I guess we'll see.
But and then for this challenge right out of the gate, that was just so stacked for strength versus nothing else. It was just like, okay, I mean, do we even need to play?
Yeah, that one you could have just fast forwarded right through it. It was
I wish, but Sling TV, for those of you wondering about streaming services, I have Netflix number 1, I have Disney Plus number 2, number 3 probably Peacock, just so I can watch WWE pay-per-views essentially, and then HBO Max, looking to the combination of the Max, which will be the combination of HBO Max and Discovery, and probably next I have Paramount Plus, just because I have to watch Survivor, and then last on that list would be Sling TV. Only 3 frees during my viewing of this, and my favorite part every time I watch the challenge is, would you like to watch the challenge commercial free? Because you're not.
That was, I know, because I have Sling and you can fast forward through the channels, and there was something that happened last week where it didn't record. It luckily did record this week, but last week it didn't record, so it was no skipping through it. So it was just the longest episode ever.
Yeah, this was like, as I said, the commercial breaks. And for those of you that know, I am very fluent in Spanish. I know what's it? Nacho Bel Grande, Gordita. There's 2 others. Adios, I think. So I really appreciate the Spanish commercials. They're really made for me. Thank you, Sling TV. I didn't know that I needed 2 hours to watch the challenge today, but apparently I did. So thank you very much. You're the worst streaming service of all time. All right, so back in the house, Amber is taking this we're on separate teams things extremely seriously, in that she kicks Chauncey out of her room.
Seemed a bit harsh.
I don't feel that was necessary.
No, I mean, I feel like in any challenge, especially when there's teams, there's a lot of people that are staying in, the same room from other teams. I mean, I assume that Bananas and Devin are still staying in the same room.
Yeah, I don't see either of them moving because that would require them displaying effort, which neither have on the season because it's not necessary. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So moving your crap would be using effort. So Jordan doesn't know if he can trust Devin, and I say relax, Jordan. Jordan's strategy in the game not the greatest, but we'll get there. But Devin realizes that his team will be an uphill battle and that there's no I in team, and whatever stupid catchphrase you want to throw out there, holy moly, are they on the wrong side of strength, power, and size?
Yeah, they needed a lot of puzzle heavy, and maybe some endurance too, just because the other team has Anisa. So anything that's endurance and
Well, yeah,
puzzles, that's really what they need.
that's true. So Nani explains that the weaker team does have different strengths and weaknesses, and there's also Kenny.
Kenny is in fact there. Always nice to get
is.
that reminder.
Yes. Devin extends a huge olive branch to Jordan, and but Jordan's not being extremely receptive to this.
No, and it's pretty on brand for Jordan. Jordan, I think he comes in, he has a handful of people he wants to work with, and everyone else he could really care less about.
Yeah. He believes that the game is very one side. It's an individual game in which it kind of is if you're playing a low key game. Jordan is playing a very expressive individual game, which I don't think is ideal for this scenario.
No, and Jordan doesn't know how to play a low key game, for better or for worse. I mean, it's part of and he's done it in all formats and won. So, more power to him. But it's also like part of the reason he had such an uphill climb in World of the Worlds 2 was because he was so expressive. And yes, he ended up winning that season. But there's a reason that he went down into the elimination pit. I think it was 3 times that season. And when it's teams, you can't be that expressive and explosive.
Yeah, just the olive branch is being extended by one of the dirtiest players out there. So take it and hope that he's not screwing you over. And I don't think Devin is.
No, because I think Devin's starting to see now that, maybe Jordan wouldn't be his first pick, but for the good of both of them, they need to work together.
Yeah. So, and even though Jordan has difficulty saying it, he's got Tori back, and that is Devin's literal ride or die.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's I don't know. I think that's part of just Jordan being Jordan.
Yeah. Well, Nuri has a great time making out with Jordan. He's a very good kisser from what we learned.
Good for him.
Yeah. Tori is a ticking time bomb. We shall see how that goes. I feel we might have gotten through this, but I'm not sure.
I don't think it's going to be a focal point in the remainder of the season. Could be completely wrong. Maybe it is.
Yeah,
but I
it
think
has
we've
been
gotten through
the last 2 episodes. It has been like the teams are all about how Tori feels. The choosing the deliberation is all about how Tori feels, all in Tori's mind, because I don't think anyone else is playing that game.
No, absolutely. So I'm hoping that, all right, it was a 2, story episode arc. Maybe it pops up something here or there. I mean, we see in the previews that she's going to have a conversation with Nerys next week, but hopefully after that, it's not something that keeps popping up and shoved down her throat the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm over it. So, well, it's time for our daily of the episode. It is called Last Life, and hey, joining us is Puss in Boots actor and star Antonio Banderas. Wow, he got old. And he come with us. So Puss in Boots has used 8 of his 9 lives. That's hilarious. Oh.
It was a rough one because we've seen the challenge have like these sponsors. I know it was early. I think they already did it earlier this season, but in the past few seasons, something with Burger King or something like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, you're playing for the reward, not this is almost like old Survivor style of, hey, Jack and Jill, who doesn't want to see a good Adam Sandler movie?
Oh, well, I mean, I felt last time I saw something like almost explicitly like this was on the agents season, and we had the sponsorship of Top Gun Maverick, which I
Oh, that's
feel
right.
in its first draft didn't have Tom Cruise because I don't think he was in, because I was just like, what is this straight to HBO Max garbage? And thanks to COVID, it was delayed 2 years. And holy moly, what a difference 2 years makes, because this went from, based on the preview we saw during during Double Agents, looked like an unwatchable movie, to one of the biggest films in the last 5 years.
Yeah, it took. I completely forgot about it. Double Agents was 2 years ago. Seems like a long time.
Well, with COVID, it feels like 4. So,
Yeah.
did you watch Top Gun Maverick?
Yes, I did. I was one of the people that I think
Illegally
wasn't
bootleg
all
it?
in. No, I wasn't all in right away, just because I thought, we've seen so many of these movies lately that it's been the reboots, and a
The
lot of
money
them haven't.
grab?
Yeah, and they haven't been great. But there was a few people that saw it. They're like, no, trust me, like it's worth it. You got to go watch it. And I'm glad I did. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but that over my Christmas break and small hiatus and podcasts, somehow, some way, some form, that is my Christmas wish. I asked the elf on the shelf, Snowflake daily. Snowflake is currently in a wine glass, pooping out a Hershey's Kiss. So Snowflake, please give me a little break in podcast and let me watch Top Gun Maverick. I'm sure it'll be great, and I'm sure the bad guys who do not have a country to declare, because you're not allowed to in 2022, I'm sure they get what they deserve.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right. So the daily is Last Life. It is 2 decks connected by a beam over water, and as Jonny eloquently describes this, it is an NFL offensive line versus the Mighty Mites. And I think he's being very kind in this description.
Yeah, I mean, what? Because outside of bananas, if you're going to do that swap, pretty much they had all the bigger guys on their side.
Yeah. So, and thank goodness Devin is here to remind us that hey guys, you think it's over? No, 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 no. As Nelty explained to us, it's not the size of the dog; it's the dog in the bark.
I personally loved how they gave the flashback showing him say that from Invasions.
Yes. So, here. Also, it is our first round is Nelly T versus Devin. Devin hung in there deceptively in better shape than he than a lot of people think he is. I thought that was a good showing from Devin versus Nelly T. I mean, because Nelly T is all shoulders and arms.
Yeah, and I mean, his elimination record where he's been in a lot of physical ones, it's pretty good. The only times he's lost have been to the bigger guys, and there's been some times where he's even beaten the bigger men in physical eliminations. So Nelson's definitely a force, and Devin putting up as good of a fight as he did, I think it just continues to show that Devin, especially coming into this season, isn't the Devin of the past.
Didn't Devin beat Wes in the arena?
He did. I think that was Double Agents, I believe.
Yeah.
But I think part of what discredits it a little bit is the simple fact that, you know, who knows how true it is or not, but Wes, started saying, well, Devin's one of my good friends, so my whole heart wasn't in it. And I think a lot of fans just were like, oh, well, Wes wasn't trying, so it doesn't really count, which I don't think is fair either.
Oh, I think it. Shoot, if I beat Roman Reigns in a hall brawl, it counts.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't like. Sorry, dude, I won. I mean, in truth be told, it was like Roman Reigns was good enough for the NFL. I mean, one of the greatest world champions of all time in professional wrestling. But I mean, he was at Georgia Tech. It's one of the inferior ACC schools out there. I'm calling you out.
He's not better. He's not one of those people that's better than 99 of the current NFL players. So
Sure. But Fessel, on the other hand, we'll get there. All right. So next is Bananas, and Bananas brought it. I mean, Bananas also, he's a lot of shoulders and arms, but Horatio is much like Puss in Boots. He's a cat, and he's cat-like, and God bless his balance.
Yeah, I mean, because there were a few times where I think if it was almost anyone else, some of those good, shoves and pushes the Banana has, they're going off the edge. It's just Ratio. His balance is just incredible.
I so wish Jay was still in. Like, if we could shuffle this up a little bit, Jay and Michelle are still in this. Michelle is maybe Michelle adds a little more power to the strength team or to the to the weaker team on the female side, and then Jay, the smaller guy, but still just balances out the team.
Absolutely.
I miss them already. So yeah, Bananas with the only loss in the one-on-ones in last life. Chauncey versus Jordan, and Jordan's got heart. He's got a lot of heart, and I felt like he had one small opportunity to make that move when when Chauncey overly extended himself and he was down on one knee. I felt that's where Jordan had an opportunity, but otherwise, Chauncey's a big boy, a very big boy.
I think what Jordan's strategy should have been was simple as not just getting him off and trying to stay on. Is Jordan more just going all in? Like, we're both going in the water, but you're going
And
down first.
hope I land on top of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just grab that life vest and do anything you can to switch positions in the air.
Yeah. Because if you're in control of that, make sure that you have your top leg higher and that he's going down beneath you. And it's not how it worked out. But I thought that was his only shot.
Well, Jordan did explain prior to this that Jordan is the daddy up here, and Chauncey answered with, "Who's your daddy?" Next up, Fessel versus Kennan. Yep.
It was the matchup that everyone wanted to see.
It was. Oh, we got the glory music, and it was. I'm shocked we didn't get clown music afterwards. So Horatio is the last man standing for the yellow team, and it's a dealer's choice. And Fessel would love to be the one to eliminate the only guy that's better looking than him in the house, probably according to maybe. Do you think Fessel thinks that Horatio is better looking than him or no?
Absolutely not.
Oh wow.
I don't. I think he's so full of himself that he's just God's gift to women, and there's no one better than him at anything.
Well, he did take his girl.
That is true.
So I mean, it didn't matter who's better looking. It's So
yeah.
All right. So time for the lady. It's Mariah versus Casey. Yeah. Casey wins. TJ gets a laugh out of this. This is a preview for next week because it's trivia. Who doesn't love trivia more than TJ? No one on the planet.
Absolutely not. It's his favorite.
Yes. So next, Olivia versus Nani, and holy moly, we saw in the preview for the season that Nani is in a neck brace. She's loaded with ants. This is the cause of that. We also hear in the preview throughout, preseason and then for the midseason deal. You know, we see Nani and the neck brace and the ambulance, and we hear, you know, you can no longer compete. And I raised my hand right away. I'm just like, okay, this is a red herring. There's no way that they're showing Nani on the stretcher in the ambulance, you know, with the neck brace, and then the flip statement is you can no longer compete. They're not giving all that away.
No, absolutely not. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's my phone going off in the background.
Yeah, all good. So, but yeah, so that does not happen. I mean, there's no. I mean, it's just ridiculously spoiling. So that does not happen and did not happen. So, but scary fall, especially for her not to be being at that, because she hit the water bad.
Yeah, she hit it at a really rough angle. How she hit, like there was no brace for it. I feel like it was her face smacked right off the water.
Yeah. So Bananas didn't hit that great either. Like he was like, at least it looked good. Like he looked like he was dead hitting the water and he was fine, versus, you know, Nani looked like it wasn't good, but then she looked dead. So very, very scary moment, but glad that Nani's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I completely agree with you that if they're showing all that, there's no reason that they're giving that away before the season starts, that she's
Yeah.
in a neck brace, like, oh no, she's done for the season. Like, absolutely not.
No. If they don't show it, then she's done the season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Next is Amber versus Tori. They really embrace the Puss in Boots theme. Yeah, Tori wins. I mean, it was kind of like, if my 5-year-old was watching Challenge, she would appreciate this. So I am not 5, and you know, way too, you know, to grab screen time, Tori. You love it. I'm here for you to get it, but be a little less transparent. Okay.
Well, it's what she's been doing all season, though, is she just toes that company line. It's just like, oh, you need a good confessional that, you know, matches the theme or matches what you're talking about. Like, I got that generic confessional
Yeah.
for you.
Wow, this is a 3-season theme that was really hyped up next season or last season, but wow,
Yeah.
she. So yeah. Next up is if you don't want to show that Anisa is a weak link in your on your team, you have this daily challenge. So it's Anisa versus Nerys. Yep, Anisa wins. So her whole thing is she didn't want to hurt Nerys, and I was just like, well, you would have to try for that to happen.
Whatever, Anisa.
I know.
It's
I'm.
her just more being full of herself, and
She's
you know,
great. She's great.
Alex isn't here. You know, someone has to show more disdain for her.
Oh my god. I mean, but I watched last episode with my girlfriend yesterday, and basically her first call out was, "Wow, she's still there, huh?" I'm like, "Yep." So still on the same training regimen. Nothing's changed. Oh, okay. Pink team owns the yellow team. As a result, they win, but that's not all. They also get to go to the world premiere of Puss Boots, which I'm guessing maybe in the UK, because Bananas just posted on his Instagram that they just filmed the
Reunion.
the reunion special for this season in the UK. And I'm just like, why would they choose the UK? My guess is because there's a Puss in Boots world premiere there, and if you can get Puss in Boots to pay for half flight, why not do the reunion there?
So I saw one other comment out there. I don't know how true it is, but I
Sure.
think someone else's theory on it was also for some of the contestants they had there that aren't in the US. It's easier for them with, you know, still COVID high and all that. It's easier to get them to the UK than it is to the US. I don't know how
Okay.
true that is either, but that's just
Could
what I
be.
read.
I just said that was just my guess based on this crappy prize.
That probably makes more sense.
I don't know. I mean, Oh, I don't want to get into Survivor not doing a live reunion show anymore because of just the thousands of dollars that they save. But it's not like that show makes millions of dollars in advertising. Oh wait, they do. They even have some company I've never heard of that gives millions of dollars. All right, so hey, in case you're wondering, 4 guys from the losing team are up for nomination, and shocker, he is in danger. But you know what doesn't need to be in danger? Your balls. Support for Reality After Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. That's right, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 12 million balls.
The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, is it a game changer. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies.
First off, the Lawnmower 4.0, this trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever.
Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and has a 4000K LED spotlight that you need for a more precise shave.
Now, I have a dark shower curtain in my bathroom, and I've been looking for the perfect way to shave in the dark, kinda. Guess what? I found it. 4000K LED. No longer a problem. I got perfectly smooth, clean balls thanks to the Lawnmower 4.0.
It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code SURVIVOR. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Thanks for sticking with us through the ad break. And don't forget, for more exclusive Reality After Show coverage, visit realitypatron.com. That's reality, Patron.com.
All right, and we are back. Whoo! All right, it is time for deliberation. Kenny is volunteering so he can call out Horatio. Well, guess what? That works out for you, Kenny. And, and it's Devin's turn. Devin interrogates the winners.
It was great, and just him, describing himself like Neo, just dodging questions left and right, and he does a good job. And he's probably, I'd say, him and Bananas are probably the only two that could do it, that could just keep everything going in circles. That at the end of it, I think, afterwards, winning team is just like, what just happened there? Like,
what just happened? And Devin was just like, I don't even know the answers I gave. So I guess if he deciphered my code, they're smarter than me, and they're not. So Jordan explains he is not scared, but guess what? He is also not diplomatic. So there, there you have it.
No, but I think he did make some good points. Was just saying, like, you can throw me in, but I'm probably going to come back, and unless Kenny pulls the safe dagger, like, you're feeding him to me, and we all know how that's going to go.
Yeah, and you have Tori saying, with the role reverse, would you protect me? And Jordan's answer internally is yes, of course, but he doesn't say that. He goes, do you even need to ask that? Like, what have I done? And it's just like, just say yes.
I'm hoping that got edited out, that it's somewhere he did say that, because otherwise, yeah, it's not a good look for him.
No, it's like, because like that's what he's saying in his mind, and I'm just like, that's not what anyone is hearing.
Yeah, I think somewhere in there he said yes. Maybe he didn't. I guess I wouldn't be that surprised if he didn't.
No,
I was kind of assuming somewhere he did.
Yeah, the answer is just yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to do a walk around and being like, well, what do you think? Like, what did I tell you? Like, just say yes. It's done.
Yeah. So, no. And like, I understand what Tori has in her mind. It's just like, hey, this guy says he loves me. He does. I don't think I don't think Jordan doesn't love Tori, but he doesn't want to marry her.
No, not anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I see a huge problem in the what was potentially a huge problem in the Tory relationship is communication.
Yeah, I think one of the only things that saves him is he does say in there that you've seen me in the past that, I stick to my word even when it's to my detriment, which that we have seen. I mean, his elimination in Bananas and Free Agents was he said he was going to do something. When the elimination came out, he shouldn't have done it, but he can't help himself.
So, all right. So Nani is back. She's fine. Everything's fine. So no, do not believe the preview because if the show date wasn't true. So yes, it's fine. Scary moment. Oh, time to go to the club. And Tori is trying to make a deal with Jordan. And Jordan doesn't understand or care, doesn't understand what a deal is or care about a deal.
The only thing I could think of here was just being like, I understand what you're doing, but I don't want to make a deal with Fessy.
Yeah. This deal does, like, these teams are lopsided. The inevitable is inevitable. And the only way to potentially derail that inevitable is to trim the fat, Kenny, and get a favorable challenge to the puzzle and endurance of the smaller team.
Yeah, because I mean,
so why make any deal?
Exactly, because if you get rid of that, like, what are you going to do the next time? If everyone that's on the team, they're not going to throw in Bananas. I guess they could go Chauncey, but I don't think they'd go that. It's just no, that team's going after Fessy or Nelson.
Okay, so next week we have a women's elimination. Following week it's men's again. And let's just say the yellow team, the weaker team, wins. And it's a hall brawl. Can anyone beat Fessy?
No, not if it's on their team.
Yeah.
I think at that point, though, what the good thing is that they can have all those conversations, but they don't, yes, they have the deliberation, but they don't need to call out who they're voting in until they see what the elimination is. So I think you could have that plan of being like, we're throwing him in, but then back up that if it is something that's overly physical, this is
or just essentially a hall brawl. Then
hall ball, pole wrestle, or like balls in.
I feel like Jordan could potentially beat Fessy in a pole wrestle. I mean, even though he's on that team, I feel like there's someone that may be able to beat Fessy in a pole wrestle.
Well, Jordan tried in Total Madness, and he couldn't, and he like separated his shoulder in the process.
So, how great is that? I don't know if they've ever done this on the Challenge Australia finale or last elimination. That it's like a pole wrestle, but it's the polo ball with the handles on it.
Yeah, no, that was great. That sure, we'll dive into the Australian Challenge finale tomorrow, but that was the best part of the last two episodes.
That was so cool. Like, I like that device, and I don't think they made that for Australian Survivor. So we may, and they're filming in the same location. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that coming up on this season.
No, I think we're going to see it, especially because we've seen between the two a lot of the same challenges and eliminations. And I mean, you see the wheel that they're going on next week. That's the exact same wheel that they used in episode 9 of Challenge Australia.
Yeah. And for those of you that would like to watch Challenge Australia or would like to see our podcast for Challenge Australia, become a patron right now at realitypatron.com. That's realitypatron.com. We have links to all the episodes for Challenge Australia. The finale just happened on Monday, and we will be doing our finale podcast tomorrow, and that is a Patreon exclusive. Go to realitypatron.com. That's realitypatron.com. Whew. So Kenny explains anyone can win, but him. He forgot the last part.
Is there any elimination that Kenny could win, unless maybe it's solely puzzle based?
Yes. So it's time for the arena, and this eliminator called Breaking Barriers. And basically, it's a bunch of rooms, and you're all the two combatants are fighting to get to the middle room. The first one, you just have to use brute force to get through the first barrier. Afterwards, there's bolt cutters, there's an axe, and there's a wrench. And Kenny's going in. Or no, sorry, I'm sorry. But prior, Horatio is chosen. They decide not to go after Jordan immediately. And we learn here that Olivia, Chauncey, and Nelly were left out of the discussion. So if you want to know where you are in the pecking order, Olivia, Chauncey, and Nelly, you're at the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you'd also have to imagine that the five of them that we're talking were also in communication with, their 5 ride or dies on the other team. So
yes,
probably doesn't spell great for either of those 3 sets, no matter who wins.
It seems like 10 versus 6 is what we're looking at. So as uneven as the teams are, it is also still an imbalance of power. 10 versus 6 of the remaining players. All right, so or 10 versus 5, but Kenny's not as long. Okay, so we still have a draw, even though Horatio was chosen. It's not like they choose amongst themselves. They're still pulling the swords or the daggers. Were you surprised to see this?
I thought they'd keep it just because, it's weird that they would change if they have that set. Yeah, they already have that set up. I assume that's what it would still be, and it wouldn't be a call out, especially because, in past you would have seen where I thought it was going to go was the same way of it was Battle of the Bloodlines, where it was the same type of thing where they started out pairs of their bloodlines, and then they split up into 2 teams before going back to their bloodlines. And at that point in time, it was whoever lost, you voted in, a male or female that day. And then the winning team also picked someone else. So you were picking from your team, and the opposing team was picking someone from your team, and they went in against each other. And because there was nothing like that mentioned, I assumed it was still going to be the daggers.
I didn't even think about the daggers. last week, everything not happening last week, I completely forgot the daggers were a thing. That's how bad the episode. It just made me forget. I'm just like, oh wait, there was a theme on this season. All right, cool. All right, so time to draw. Devin confidently grabs the middle dagger, and he is saying he knew last night that he was grabbing the safe dagger.
I think that this just goes further to it's something that Bananas figured out of one of the daggers is different. And I think that he shared that secret with Devin. Maybe not.
Oh, did he share that he saw a difference?
He hasn't said that he has, but just for the fact that they pulled it first. I mean, yes, there's that conspiracy theory out there that they told him. I think what's more likely is that he figured it out on his own and he shared that secret, but who knows? Maybe that gets disproved as the season goes on.
Well, if I'm down there and I grab the safe dagger, I'm scuffing it in some sort of way that I'm making it different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
and even if
something like that happened.
Even if they repair that scuff, you'll see that that's the repaired one.
That's really good. I didn't even think about that.
I would do that in a heartbeat and protect my people.
Maybe that's what happened. No, that's genius.
Well, that's why. That's why I'm one of the best. Come on, Dan. Pay attention.
That's Jonny Fairplay for you.
Screw you, production. So Devin's safe. Jordan, don't worry. Devin's not going to screw you yet. And so Kenny's going in, and this challenge or this eliminator is breaking barriers. And it's here we learn that Horatio works construction. And it's like, of course he does. What doesn't this beautiful man do?
He can do it all. Work construction, professional
Model.
soccer player, model. And so it's just one more thing that it's just like, I
feel like
Horatio, you have it all.
He could be a great gigolo, but I feel like he would be a horrible gigolo. He'd be like, I would love to gigolo with you, but I have a girlfriend, so I can't. Even though I signed up for this job.
I don't think he has the negotiation tactics for it.
No. So, but the eliminator begins, and we get Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit. And yes, this is an original red vinyl pressing of Bizkit, a significant other that does have Break Stuff on there. So, Pete, I don't know if he did this, but if he did, I feel like he didn't, because I think we get stuff on a All-Star episode, Challenge All-Star season 2 maybe, and I don't feel that Pete's a hack and would recycle stuff like that. Probably not. No. Yeah. So whoever did the scoring of this is not Horatio, or sorry, not Pete. Sorry, you are no Pete. You are a hack. All right, and if it is you, Pete, I'm glad you got to take the week off. All right, so yeah, you have to break stuff, and so yeah, bolt cutters, axe, wrench, and Devin explains that he's sure if he's construction or if he's an electrician, because he's never really talked to him. However, he is the most handsome electrician on earth if he is an electrician.
100%. If that's the guy that shows up to your house, to repair something, it's just like, who sent you? You're not. Yeah. There's no way you know how to do this too.
That might have been Tori that said that. It was one of them, but I mean, they're playing for the same cause, so I feel like I'm covered either way. Horatio wins, thank God. I was so scared that the bolts would have been looser for Kenny. And I was just like, no, please, dear God, don't do this.
He didn't need to use the wrench. He just could have unscrewed them the entire way.
Yes, I felt he did.
Well, the fact that he got a few out, and they said it was getting close. There's no way. Either A, he didn't get that close, or they weren't as tight. Yeah.
Oh, that would have come on, MTV. You're better than that. You know who needs to stay in this game? That beautiful man, Horatio. So,
and especially with Kenny, where it's like they're not giving him any airtime whatsoever. Why would you do anything to protect him?
Oh, well, we got airtime this episode. That's why I was like, oh, it's Kenny's boot episode. Tremendous. I've been waiting for this.
Well, yeah.
Hey, did you know he was married? Did you know he's married and had a kid? I didn't until today.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Well, I know I was talking with Alex last week, and it was, eventually you got confessionals from all of them because no one was going home. But when Kenny got some of the first ones last week, I was like, oh no, like he's screwed.
Oh yeah. I caught that too. Like he said, he got like, I don't know, 6 words last episode. I was like, oh, is next week his boot? and yes, in fact, it kind of is. Oh, so TJ says, Kenny, you are one of the sweetest dudes ever in the challenge, and he does not say we will see you again, because come on, people. Can we all agree in unison simultaneously around the world that Josh was the better pick as Casey's ride or die?
Absolutely. There's a lot of people that don't like Josh, but Josh is better TV. You would have definitely heard from Josh. Josh is causing drama, and it's a way better show if Josh is there.
And Josh on this yellow team.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit more strength. He's a bigger dude.
Hey, so yeah, I mean, I have lots of friends. Dan, you're a friend of mine. Alex Trias is a friend of mine. Lauren Pratt. I could go down the list. If I have the option of you or Alex or Jonathan Young from season 42 of Survivor to bring out with me, I'm choosing Jonathan Young.
100%, as you should. He'd be a fool.
Right? So when they're just like, hey Casey, who's your ride or die? Like, I don't care if it is your brother Kenny. It's, my ride or die is Josh Martinez. It's like, okay, but if you had to name another, like, what name your brother's? Like, I don't have a brother. I think it was the correct answer.
Well, she had another one right there. It's Fessy. Those are the two guys that she's worked the closest with in all the seasons that she's been on. You don't need to have them both bringing someone else.
Does Fess even know who Mariah is?
My guess is no.
I other than him crying last week, I don't think they've talked in the house. And literally all he did was use her shirt as a snot rag. Well, which is better than what he should have done with Laurel's ugly shirt she used for confessionals. That would have been used as a rag of a different kind.
Well, and I know Mariah even did an interview that was just Fessy wasn't talking to her in the house. Like they weren't prior to all this going on. So I think it was just someone that it was, hey, I can bring you on. You're pretty well-rounded. But I mean, if he had conversations with her, had to know that she's more on the shyer side. She isn't outgoing. So I think in his mind, this was someone, hey, I can bring on, and this is my show. Like you're doing this to help me. No other reason.
What's she from?
Nothing. This is her first reality show ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She'd never done a reality show prior to this.
Wow. Just right into the fire, huh?
Yeah, because even when she says that, she mentioned that when she was younger, she used to be, more of a party person, but now she stays at home and plays video games and has like 3 dogs, and she seems like more of an introvert.
Yeah, I met her weekend at Hearts of Reality. So she's a sweetheart. So very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So, but very much a sweet. I mean, like, I think you're getting a good representation of Mariah on the challenge. So just very, very nice, really sweet, and I mean, and hot as balls.
Yeah, there's not some hidden side to her that we're not seeing.
No, and I think all those things are compliments.
100%.
I told her, I've said very nice things about you on my podcast. And she goes, are you really saying mean things? I'm like, no, you know how to wear an outfit for a confessional. She goes, I do. Laurel, on the other hand, does not. That ugly blue shirt from New York Company or whatever that crap company is for school teachers at the mall. Ugh. For those of you that don't think you should shop at New York and Company or whatever that crappy company is at the mall for school teachers, if you don't think you should, don't. But if you think you should, then you probably should, and don't come up to me ever. They make nothing flattering, Dan. I assure you. We will not be getting them as a sponsor.
That's probably for the best.
It probably is. So, and Amber B, your outfits aren't that good either. I mean, they're not the worst, but they're not good. All right. Yes. So the episode is over. But wait, it's not. Kenny, come on back. Even though he does not say, even though TJ does not say we will see you again, pronouns pal, don't say he. Even though TJ does not say we will see you again, he does explain, hey, there's a twist. If Casey stays in the game, you have a shot to get back in the game. This season is called Ride or Dies for a reason.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense because my thought was it was going to be, I kept waiting for them to reveal it, that if your ride or die was eliminated, you were too. but it was also
Yeah.
me thinking, oh, okay, this is what the challenge would have done 10 seasons ago. Now we need to see how we can stretch this 8, 9, 10 episodes too long. So
Yeah.
we're not
Well,
going to do that because that would make more sense.
Yeah, no, we are at the 1/3 point in the season. There are 29 episodes remaining for the season of the challenge run. I mean, why not, right? So
Just keep it going. Who doesn't need longer seasons? The only thing that I can think.
Can I raise my hand? I don't need longer seasons. I can
No,
live with an 8 season. Like what
I
is
think it's-
what is the challenge all stars? Whatever that is perfect.
I think it's 10.
Yeah, and we
And I
even
think-
have one dud episode on that.
Yeah, no, I think 10 is the good, like that's a sweet spot for them. It's kind of what they were doing when, it's been at its highest point. The only thing I can think of is that when they were doing 10 episode seasons, they were doing 3 or 4 a year. And just because they've upped the prize money, they're trying to stretch it out because MTV doesn't have the budget or unwilling to give that much money away a year. That's my only.
You sound like me at 1 a.m. trying to stretch it out, brother. More ways than one. I'll be here all week. Comedy's hard. That one landed. We're good. I stuck the landing. Woo. Go back and watch last night's Philly podcast. There was a swing and a miss. My punchline of like a fart in church hit like a fart in church.
It was you eventually got mad.
Eventually, comedy's hard, goes a long way. All right, so next week trivia.
TJ's favorite episode of the season.
It's usually one of mine.
Yeah,
I had a nice long talk with Nehemiah about trivia.
Oh yeah, how'd that go? Or what did he have to say about it?
He said, even if it was so funny, so because I'm sitting there, it was we were on the bus on our way to Discovery Cove to do the dolphin experience. It was me and my girlfriend, and directly in front of us was David from the Challenge USA, and across from David was Nehemiah, and they were talking about TJ's trivia. And they're both explaining more so Nehemiah, the strategist, versus David, the super genius, that even if you know something, when you're 200 feet in the air, you don't know anything.
No, I think it's just the nerves that get you, which is why, I understand what they're doing next week with the wheel. So we mentioned, it's the same one that they use in the Challenge Australia. But I think I wonder if TJ's going to love it as much because he can't hit a button or pull a lever to drop you
they're doing the
or
wheel?
make you fall into the water. Yeah.
I hate the wheel. I thought that sucked.
No,
I felt like that was anticlimactic.
And it just seemed cruel for the losers because you were out and you still had to keep spinning.
Yeah. So no, David was explaining on the Challenge USA, he got eliminated on a trivia, but like they didn't get the camera shot. And they put him back up there and gave him another question. And he was just like, does it even matter? He was just like, he's like, his nerves were shot from dropping. And they're like, now we need you back up. We got to do this. Like, he goes, but if you get it right, you're not dropping. He's like, I'm dropping. He was like, nothing is in my head right now. I was like, well, truth be told, there wasn't a whole lot. But he was a sweet, you know what? I kind of get why he's on. He's a really nice dude. I mean, I don't know if that's why you should ask someone, but
he seems like a really nice guy. Just, I think we've seen that reality TV just isn't for him.
Is it not? I mean, he keeps getting paid, so maybe it is for him.
I mean, from his point of view, if he keeps getting paid and asked back, then why wouldn't you? I just don't understand why, production hasn't realized that reality TV isn't for him.
Yeah. And I asked him, I'm just like, in 14 days of quarantine, maybe you should have watched. He goes, they wouldn't let me. You want him to be that character.
That's kind of messed up.
That's kind of crappy because, like everyone else in quarantine, they're giving you DVDs to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And with him, they're just like, no, we don't need it. So he goes, I basically sat in silence. Like, it's just like, I'm going more and more mad.
Yeah. That's awful.
Yes. But I believe it. So it's all about, like let's state that character that, people yell at their television about. And it's just like, there's no way you should have blah, blah, blah. And he's just like, I couldn't.
I tried.
I really did. So anyway, good dude, David. You're great. We love you. Nehemiah, of course, we love you. He's got a win in him. He told me he's got a win coming. So I told him he's got to learn to eat meat.
He's vegan.
I think he knows that might be his kryptonite, and we might. For a limited time. Because think about all the good he can do with the money.
Yeah.
Like I know why he's not doing it, but if there's a difference between you winning and doing something good with that money, maybe you need to for that little time period going into it and there.
Yeah. Well, and I can also only imagine he was going nuts watching the Challenge USA, where it's right after All Stars 3, where he's eating that pile of just disgusting meat, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to give you an onion and some lemon juice because Angela's vegan."
Yeah. Ridiculous. The Challenge USA is ridiculous. Don't worry, folks. I won't be on there. I have done everything possible in every way that I will not be on the USA. Peek behind the curtain. All right. So, once again, we will be recording tomorrow morning. We'll be recording the Challenge Australia finale podcast. If you would like to watch the Challenge Australia, go to realitypatron.com. We have links there. And if you'd like to, watch right after, we'll be uploading it immediately. Watch our Challenge Australia finale podcast. So we have links to the episodes, and we have links to the podcast. Patron exclusive only for the Challenge Australia. Go to realitypatron.com. It is realitypatron.com. All that is available on the lowest, cheapest tier. If you want to get if you want to bump it up one, the weekly Q&A is the best podcast of the week because Matt doesn't have to take notes, and I say lots of things that I shouldn't say, and that was definitely the case this week. So give it a try for a month. If you don't like it, we'll send your money back. You also get added to the secret Reality After Show Facebook group, in which you get to ask questions for the Q&A, and we have lots of fun stuff. We are finishing up our Reality After Show fantasy football. The playoffs start this week. 3 different leagues. This is the championship belt. How beautiful is this?
I'm just bitter about it. I went into the league I'm in the past 2 seasons with one of the best teams, was knocked out immediately. This time I needed to win out to get in. I played you last week and you put up 175 points. You bastard.
I am in all 3 leagues because for some reason you a-holes beat me. But I am in all 3 playoffs. And I would love to keep one of these belts because I think they're beautiful. So I thank the good folks at trophysmack.com for helping me design these. They didn't give them to me, but they helped me, and I think they're beautiful. And I need to keep this because it has my face on it, and I love anything with my face, much like Fessel. So So Dan, where can everybody find you on the socials?
Socials, it's going to be part of my last name. Just it's Monchy, Montchy. Or if you just search my name, I have such a unique last name, Montchal, Montchal. You will find me.
You will find him. So, and I'm at Jonny Fairplay on everything. If you're a fan of Survivor, I have 2 buffs up on eBay. I have links on my Twitter and my Facebook. My Facebook is facebook.com/Jonny Fairplay, no H in Johnny. And then my Twitter is at Jonny Fairplay, once again, no H in Johnny, because that's the correct way to spell it. And if you like Survivor, get one of those 2 signed buffs from the season 43 Elite. So Dan, until tomorrow on the Patreon exclusive Challenge Australia finale, thank you, everyone. And thank Dan. And for more bonus content, go to realitypatron.com. That's right, become a patron now. Get additional coverage of all your favorite shows, the weekly Q&A, and you become a member of the secret, exclusive Facebook group. That's realitypatron.com. manscaped.com.